The rhythmic hum of printers and the distant murmur of phone conversations filled the office air. The atmosphere was ordinary, just another day at Carter and Associates. That is until a series of unmistakable giggles erupted from the far corner of the office. The source of the laughter was none other than Isabella, a technician with a penchant for playful antics despite her inability to speak. She had orchestrated a light-hearted spectacle involving a malfunctioning coffee machine, leaving her colleagues in stitches. The laughter echoed through the cubicles and conference rooms, drawing curious glances from those who hadn't witnessed the spectacle. In the heart of the commotion, Isabella stood with a mischievous glint in her eye, expertly navigating the aftermath of her coffee machine prank. Her actions spoke louder than words, and the contagious joy spread like wildfire. As the laughter subsided, two colleagues, Sarah and Mark, engaged in a hushed conversation near the water cooler. Sarah raised an eyebrow, her amusement evident. "Did you see what Isabella just did? That was hilarious." Mark chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief. Who knew the quiet technician had such a playful side? "I've never seen Mr. Anderson laugh so hard." Meanwhile, across the room, James, a seasoned IT specialist, approached Isabella with a grin. "Isabella, you're a genius with that coffee machine. I never thought I'd see the day when the office would be in stitches over a malfunctioning appliance." Isabella responded with a playful shrug, her eyes sparkling with mischief. She crafted a quick sign, "Life's too short not to have fun," and showed it to James. He burst into laughter, nodding in agreement. "You've got a point, Isabella. Let's hope this laughter echoes throughout the day." Little did Isabella know that her prank was just the beginning, and the laughter would soon take an unexpected turn, leading her on a path of transformation within the confines of the office. The echoes of laughter lingered in the air, leaving the office in a state of lightness it hadn't experienced in a while. Isabella, the muted technician, had unwittingly become the office's unexpected source of amusement, and her unique way of communicating without words left her colleagues intrigued. As the day unfolded, Isabella immersed herself in her technical tasks, seamlessly moving from one workstation to another. Colleagues exchanged glances, still amused by her earlier antics. Even the usually stoic Mr. Anderson sported a subtle smile, a rare sight for those who knew him well. In the break room, Isabella's friend and fellow technician, Carlos, approached her with a hearty laugh. "Isabella, you've turned our mundane office into a comedy show. I've never seen the boss laugh that hard." Isabella responded with a modest smile, her eyes twinkling. She gestured toward the coffee machine, playfully indicating that the real star of the show was the misbehaving appliance. Carlos chuckled. "You know, Isabella, you have a talent for bringing joy to this place without saying a word. It's like you've mastered the art of silent comedy." Isabella nodded in agreement, grateful for the camaraderie she had built in the office. With a swift movement, she formed a sign, "Laughter is universal," and showed it to Carlos. He grinned, recognizing the profound truth in her words. "You're right, Isabella. Laughter transcends language barriers. We're lucky to have you around." As the day progressed, Isabella's reputation as the office's silent comedian solidified. Colleagues sought her out, eager to witness her whimsical gestures and signs. Even Amelia, the human resources manager, couldn't help but smile as she passed by Isabella diligently at work. In a corner of the office, Lisa, a new intern, observed Isabella with a mixture of awe and curiosity. Sensing Lisa's interest, Sarah approached her with a friendly smile. "Isabella is something of a legend here. Her actions speak louder than words, literally." Lisa nodded, captivated by the unfolding narrative. "But why doesn't she speak?" Sarah shrugged. "It's a long story. Maybe one day, Isabella will share it with us. Until then, let's enjoy the show." And so, the muted technician continued to weave her silent magic, unknowingly setting the stage for a series of events that would soon change the course of her time at Carter and Associates. The laughter in the office had settled, leaving a lightness that hung in the air. Isabella, the muted technician, continued her work with a newfound aura of mystery surrounding her. Unbeknownst to her colleagues, her presence had triggered something unexpected in the usually composed Mr. Anderson. In his corner office, Mr. Anderson sat behind his desk, his brows furrowed in deep thought. Isabella's antics had not only amused the entire office, but had unearthed a connection that seemed to perplex the boss. Outside his office, Amelia, the astute human resources manager, noticed Mr. Anderson's contemplative demeanor. She knocked gently before entering, a concerned expression on her face. "Mr. Anderson, is everything all right? You seemed a bit bemused during the laughter earlier." Mr. Anderson sighed, his eyes briefly meeting Amelia's. "It's just, Isabella, there's something about her. It's as if I've seen her before, or maybe it's just my imagination." Amelia raised an eyebrow, intrigued by his words. Isabella? The technician with the silent wit? What could be so familiar about her? Mr. Anderson leaned back in his chair, his gaze fixed on a distant point. "I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like a distant memory, a fleeting moment, but whenever she's around, it stirs something within me." Amelia, always attentive to the nuances of human behavior, pondered the situation. Perhaps there's more to Isabella than meets the eye. People often carry hidden stories. Maybe she reminds you of someone from the past. Mr. Anderson nodded, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "Maybe, but I can't shake this feeling of déjà vu. It's almost as if her silent presence is trying to tell me something." Meanwhile, in the heart of the office, Sarah and Mark were speculating about the boss's unusual reaction. Sarah whispered, "Did you see Mr. Anderson? He looked like he'd seen a ghost when Isabella was around. What do you think that's about?" Mark shrugged. "Who knows? Maybe Isabella is a long-lost relative or an old friend he's forgotten. It's a small world after all." Back in Mr. Anderson's office, Amelia decided to delve deeper into the mystery. "I'll look into Isabella's background, see if there's anything that could explain this strange connection you're feeling." Mr. Anderson nodded appreciatively, grateful for Amelia's dedication. As the pieces of the puzzle started to fall into place, it became clear that Isabella's presence held secrets that went beyond the realm of silent laughter and playful antics. The office, unbeknownst to them, was on the brink of discovering a narrative that would unravel with each passing day. As the days unfolded, the mysterious connection between Mr. Anderson and Isabella continued to simmer beneath the surface. Amelia, the human resources manager, dedicated herself to unraveling the enigma that surrounded Isabella's past. A sense of anticipation lingered in the air, and the office became a stage for an unfolding drama. Amelia meticulously pored over Isabella's personnel records, seeking clues that could shed light on the boss's puzzling reaction. In the process, she discovered a file marked with confidentiality, containing details that were known only to a select few. In the break room, Sarah and Mark engaged in hushed conversations about the unfolding mystery. Sarah, her eyes wide with intrigue, leaned in towards Mark. "Have you heard anything about Isabella's past? I mean, besides the fact that she can't speak." Mark shook his head, not a clue, but there's definitely more to her story. "Did you see the way Mr. Anderson reacted? It's like there's some hidden history between them." Sarah nodded, her curiosity piqued. "I bet there's a dramatic story behind that silence. We just need to connect the dots." Meanwhile, Isabella continued her work, unaware of the investigative efforts taking place around her. Her silent demeanor and adept technical skills had endeared her to the office, creating an atmosphere of respect and admiration. In Mr. Anderson's office, Amelia pieced together the fragments of information. Isabella, 20 years old, had undergone a tragic accident that had not only taken away her ability to speak, but had also left an indelible mark on her life. The details were heart-wrenching, and Amelia couldn't help but feel a surge of empathy for the young technician. Armed with the newfound knowledge, Amelia approached Mr. Anderson with a grave expression. "I've uncovered some information about Isabella's past. It's a heartbreaking story, sir." Mr. Anderson, his curiosity now mixed with concern, motioned for Amelia to continue. Amelia recounted the details of the accident, the loss of Isabella's parents, and the trauma that had rendered her mute. As the story unfolded, Mr. Anderson's stoic facade began to crack, revealing a depth of emotion rarely seen. In the break room, word started to spread about Isabella's past. Lisa, the new intern, approached Sarah with a mixture of sympathy and shock. Isabella's been through so much. No wonder she communicates the way she does. It's both heartbreaking and inspiring. Sarah nodded. Sometimes, the silent ones carry the heaviest burdens. Let's support her, whatever she needs. As the office grappled with the revelations, Isabella continued to navigate her world of signs and silent gestures. Unbeknownst to her, the unfolding chapters of her life were becoming a focal point in the collective narrative of Carter and Associates, leaving an indelible mark on everyone who shared the same workspace. Armed with the knowledge of Isabella's heartbreaking past, Amelia, the human resources manager, felt a deep sense of responsibility toward the silent technician. The office buzzed with a newfound awareness of Isabella's story, and Amelia knew it was time to take action. In a private meeting room, Isabella sat across from Amelia, her expressive eyes fixed on the human resources manager. The air was thick with a mix of empathy and anticipation. Amelia began, "Isabella, I've learned about the challenges you faced, and I admire your resilience. The office has embraced your unique way of communicating, and I believe there's more we can do to support you." Isabella, though unable to voice her thoughts, looked at Amelia with a combination of curiosity and gratitude. Amelia continued, "I'm proposing a probationary period of 3 months. During this time, we'll work together to integrate you further into the community and explore how your unique perspective can assist others with special needs. It's an opportunity for growth, both for you and for the office." Isabella's eyes widened with a mix of surprise and contemplation. She gestured a sign. "How?" Amelia smiled. "We'll start with small steps. Your technical skills are unmatched, and your ability to communicate without words is a gift. Let's harness that gift and make a difference in the lives of others. What do you think?" Isabella, after a moment of thoughtful silence, formed a sign that read, "I'm willing to try." Amelia nodded appreciatively. "That's all I ask, Isabella. This probationary period is a chance for you to showcase your talents, break down barriers, and most importantly, be part of a community that understands and supports you." Meanwhile, in the office, whispers of Isabella's proposed probationary period began to circulate. Sarah and Mark discussed the matter in hushed tones. Sarah grinned. "Did you hear about Isabella's probation? It's like a fresh start for her." Mark nodded. "It's a fantastic idea. She deserves the opportunity to shine, and we'll be there to cheer her on." In another corner of the office, Lisa overheard the conversation and approached James, the IT specialist. "What's this about Isabella's probation?" James smiled. "Amelia thinks Isabella's unique skills could be put to great use. It's a chance for her to not only integrate further, but also make a positive impact." Lisa's eyes lit up. "That's amazing. I hope she excels during this period." As the news of Isabella's probationary period spread, the office atmosphere shifted from curiosity to anticipation. The once muted technician was now at the center of a transformative journey, and the next 3 months held the promise of growth, understanding, and the potential for positive change within the walls of Carter and Associates. With Isabella's probationary period officially underway, the office witnessed a subtle but significant shift. Isabella embraced her role with newfound determination, using her unique way of communication to bridge gaps and foster understanding. As Isabella moved through the office, her signs and inscriptions became more purposeful. No longer just a means of playful communication, they evolved into a silent language that carried messages of encouragement, empathy, and camaraderie. The office, once filled with laughter and curiosity, now buzzed with an atmosphere of genuine support. In the break room, Sarah and Mark marveled at the signs of change in Isabella's approach. Sarah grinned. Have you noticed how Isabella's signs have become more intentional? It's like she's on a mission. Mark nodded. Absolutely. It's not just about pranks anymore. It's about making a difference, one sign at a time. Meanwhile, Lisa, the new intern, observed Isabella's evolving communication with a sense of admiration. She approached James, the IT specialist, with a question. James, do you think Isabella's signs have a deeper meaning? It's like she's trying to convey something important. James, appreciating Lisa's perceptiveness, responded, I think you're onto something. Isabella's silent communication is a testament to her resilience and her desire to connect with others in a meaningful way. In Mr. Anderson's office, the boss noticed the signs of change as well. Amelia, standing by the doorway, spoke with a sense of satisfaction. Mr. Anderson, Isabella's impact is undeniable. The signs she uses have transformed into a language of unity. It's inspiring to see the office rally behind her. Mr. Anderson nodded, his earlier puzzlement replaced by a newfound understanding. She's turning silence into a powerful force for connection. I never anticipated the depth of what she brings to the office. Back in the open workspace, Isabella approached Carlos, her fellow technician, with a sign that read, Teamwork. Carlos grinned, You got it, Isabella. Together, we'll make things happen. Isabella's silent communication extended beyond the office walls as well. During a meeting with a client, she crafted a sign that conveyed gratitude, leaving a lasting impression on the client and showcasing the universal power of appreciation. As the days passed, Isabella's signs of change rippled through the office, fostering an environment of inclusivity and understanding. The once muted technician had become a silent catalyst for transformation, proving that words, or in her case, signs, could indeed change the world, one gesture at a time. The office, now attuned to the silent language of Isabella, eagerly awaited the next chapter in her journey of integration and impact. As the silent language of Isabella continued to evolve, not everyone in the office embraced the change with open arms. A subset of managers, blinded by ignorance and prejudice, chose to belittle Isabella's unique mode of communication, leading to a distressing undercurrent of ridicule. In the break room, Sarah and Mark observed the unsettling dynamics with concern. Sarah whispered to Mark, Have you noticed some managers making fun of Isabella's signs? It's like they can't see beyond their own biases. Mark frowned. It's disheartening. Isabella is trying to make a positive impact, and yet some people can't look past their own narrow perspectives. In a corner of the office, Lisa overheard snippets of disparaging comments about Isabella's signs. She approached James, a sense of indignation in her voice. James, why are some people making fun of Isabella? It's not fair. James sighed. Unfortunately, Lisa, not everyone is open-minded. Some people struggle to understand what they perceive as different. It's a challenge Isabella will have to face. Meanwhile, Isabella, unaware of the ridicule, continued to navigate the office with grace and resilience. Her signs, once a source of joy and connection, became a target for mockery from a select few. One day, during a team meeting, Isabella presented an idea through a carefully crafted sign. Instead of acknowledgement, she faced stifled laughter and exchanged glances among the managers. Amelia, sensing the discomfort, addressed the room. Isabella's contributions are valuable, and her communication style is a testament to creativity and resilience. Let's focus on the content of her ideas rather than the medium of delivery. Amelia's words, though meant to quell the ridicule, only fueled the resentment of a few managers who were resistant to change. In a whispered conversation near the coffee machine, two managers, Alex and Michelle, expressed their disapproval. Alex scoffed, I don't get why we have to cater to Isabella's silent show. It's distracting and doesn't contribute anything substantial. Michelle rolled her eyes. Exactly. If she wants to be part of the team, she should learn to communicate like everyone else. This sign business is getting out of hand. Unbeknownst to Isabella, the atmosphere in the office had taken a negative turn. The ridicule, though subtle, cast a shadow over her silent efforts to integrate and make a positive impact. In another attempt to bridge the communication gap, Isabella approached Carlos, her trusted colleague, with a sign that read, "Unity." Carlos, aware of the challenges Isabella faced, responded with a reassuring smile. "We're with you, Isabella. Don't let anyone discourage you. Your signs speak volumes, and some people just need time to understand." As the chapter unfolded, the office found itself at a crossroads, torn between embracing the silent language of Isabella and succumbing to the resistance fueled by prejudice. The ensuing days would reveal whether the collective spirit of understanding and acceptance could overcome the divisive currents within Carter and Associates. The office, once buzzing with laughter and curiosity, now stood at a pivotal juncture. Isabella's silent journey of integration had faced both triumphs and challenges, and the atmosphere within Carter and Associates hung in the balance. In a team meeting, Amelia addressed the office dynamics, her tone firm yet hopeful. "We're all part of a diverse team, and diversity should be celebrated, not ridiculed." Isabella's unique communication style brings a fresh perspective. Let's strive to build an inclusive environment where everyone's contributions are valued. The room fell silent, and Sarah exchanged a glance with Mark. Sarah whispered, "It's about time someone stood up for Isabella. We can't let a few narrow-minded individuals spoil what she's trying to achieve." Mark nodded, "Exactly. It's on all of us to foster a culture of acceptance." As the days passed, Isabella persisted in her efforts to bridge the communication gap. During a team-building event, she orchestrated a silent activity that required everyone to communicate using gestures and signs. The experience, though met with initial skepticism, soon became a catalyst for understanding. In the break room, Lisa approached James with a smile. That team-building exercise was eye-opening. Isabella's silent language is more than just signs. It's a way to bring people together. James agreed. Sometimes, we need unconventional methods to break down barriers. Isabella is teaching us that communication goes beyond words. Amelia noticed the subtle shift in the office dynamics and approached Isabella with a supportive smile. "Your journey has inspired positive change, Isabella. Keep being a beacon of resilience and innovation." Isabella responded with a sign that read, "Thank you." Meanwhile, in Mr. Anderson's office, the boss reflected on the transformative journey Isabella had undertaken. He acknowledged the challenges and the triumphs, realizing the impact of embracing diversity within the workplace. In a gesture of solidarity, Mr. Anderson joined Isabella during a team lunch, breaking bread together and sharing a moment of connection. The symbolic act resonated with the rest of the office, sending a powerful message of unity. As the chapter unfolded, the office witnessed a gradual shift in perspective. Isabella's signs, once met with ridicule, now served as a silent reminder of the power of resilience, understanding, and acceptance. In the final scene of the chapter, Isabella stood by the office entrance, a small crowd gathering around her. With a sign that read, "New Beginnings," she marked the end of one chapter and the start of another. The journey ahead was uncertain, but the collective spirit of Carter and Associates had been forever altered by the silent language of Isabella, leaving a legacy of unity, strength, and the enduring power of unconventional communication.